Welcome everyone to Tending with Tyler. It is a beautiful late fall day and it is the perfect opportunity for an overnight hot tent trip. So it's about 3 degrees right now. It is beautiful, as you can see, the sun is shining. Tonight we're getting down to about -10 possibly, so it's going to be a great test for that new Winnerwell Woodlander that I've purchased for this season. Had it out once, performed awesome. We are using it in a bigger tent today, the Onetigris Tegimen, and we'll see how warm it keeps it at -10. I don't think there's going to be a problem, but without further ado, let's get set up. We got a lot of firewood to grab because it is only 11 a.m. We're going to be burning a fire in that thing all day long. Let's get to it. Well, we're going to call that okay. No matter how many times I set this tent up, I always struggle to get a perfect pitch. Now, this is actually a tent meant for hammock hot tenting, so you're really supposed to sling it up between two trees and you can have a ridge line through, which I think this tent actually really needs. You know, with the poles, those are maxed out, so maybe taller poles would help out a little bit, but as it sits, it always has that sag. No matter how I configure the poles to the pullouts, always there's that sag. And though I really like this tent, unless I'm using it between two trees, it's really not a good tent for the area I live in. So I'm Northern Ontario, where it's not uncommon to get 2 to 3 feet of snow overnight. And that's why I favor the teepee style hot tent, because the snow, no matter how heavy, no matter how wet it is, just sheds right off because it's so steep and just collects at the bottom of the tent. Whereas styles like this kind of wall tent style, without it being in between two trees, you can just see if you got 3 feet of snow, you're in trouble. And I have had one of these poles let go last season when we got a lot of wet snow overnight. The pole itself just kind of collapsed on itself, and that's not the tent's fault. Like I said, it's more designed to be between two trees, and you also hang your hammock between, which is pretty neat. We'll probably try that out this season in one of my later videos just to see how this tent truly performs. But as a standalone setup in the middle of an opening, not really the best setup. If you guys are familiar with the tent, you have any tips for me, I would appreciate it on how to pitch this guy. But otherwise, that's going to be okay for tonight. No snow, no rain, just cold -10, so we'll be cozy in there. Anyway, let's get some gear and the stove all set up inside, and then we'll go on the hunt for some good firewood. Cheers, everyone. Warming up in here already. Warm enough to take my hat off, but I gotta warn you guys, it is crazy. Oh yeah. But for those of you who don't know, I am a carpenter by trade, and I work outside a lot in the winter. And we're talking minus 30s on average Celsius. So I don't bother cutting my hair once it gets to be fall. I'll grow a really ugly, scraggly beard, because even though it's not very long right now, it'll get longer, but it actually really does help keep your face protected from wind, because we do a lot of dock work in the winter, and it is so windy on the lakes in the winter. It is crazy. So yeah, you guys are gonna see me get super crazy this season. Burning great. So this is the Winnerwell Woodlander medium double view. I did an overview video of this last weekend if you'd like to check that out if you want to know a little more about it. But yeah, I upgraded from a Winnerwell Nomad small and a Dweller, Pomoli Dweller that I had, which was the small version as well, just to, maybe not go through as much wood and get more consistent heat in the tent through the winter, because these are fairly large tents that I use, and having a small, like, I would have that thing wide open, burning hot the whole time just to keep it a comfortable 18 degrees in the tent. I like to be warm when I'm winter camping. That's what it's all about. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna enjoy this beer in silence, load up this stove a little more, and then we're gonna go on the hunt for some overnight wood. We're gonna need a decent amount. In the spring, this must be a pretty good little stream that runs across here. It's still flowing, and that's a good sign, because we haven't had rain in many, many, many days out here in Muskoka. So this is coming from a source, my guess would be underground, probably up near that ridge. But if I were to not have my water filter, I would go check I'd hike up there to make sure this isn't coming from a stagnant pond up top, because that does happen as well. But my guess would be that this is coming directly from the hillside, that this is pure, clean water, and I could probably drink this without filtering. But it's usually never worth the risk. If you have a filter, use it. Yeah, this would be a great water source. I'll have to keep that in mind for next time. Whew, coming back for the camera every time. I need to get multiple cameras. Alright guys, it's time to test out a new toy. Now, I had one of these guys last year. This is a Zeke saw. I picked it up for $50. This one was on sale for $40. Now, my old Zeke saw actually died last weekend, so I only got one winter and a bit of spring out of it before it died. Every time you push the trigger, the motor would just puff out smoke. It was cooked. So this is a newer model. They've changed the design. Hopefully they've changed the motor. As I said, I picked this up for $40 for an early Black Friday sale. So $40, that's not bad at all. This one actually, unlike the old one, takes bar oil for the chain. So the other one, you had to spray it, like squeeze it on to your chain. So that's a nice improvement. It feels lighter than the old one. And the batteries are a different style. So unfortunately, I couldn't even use the old batteries with the new style. Anyway, we got full bars. Let's see what this guy can do. And let's be honest, I'm glamping right now. I can drive up to my spot. But this guy, light enough at 1.9 pounds for the whole kit. I will be bringing this with me in the winter to save me some work. I always bring a bow saw to be safe, just in case, because, I mean, it's already given up on me once. You know, that cuts pretty good, actually. That doesn't seem too bad. Oh, well, it is definitely warm in here now. It's got to be easily, 20, 25 degrees. I might have to get down to a t-shirt here. Whew. So that tree should do all night. And then some. I'd imagine there'd be a little bit of wood left over for my next trip. Which is nice. I always like to leave enough wood left over that when I come back out to this spot, I can always have a quick little fire to get warm. Especially in the depths of winter when it's freezing cold and you're just so cold after, you know, trying to handle all the pegs and set a tent up that you just want a quick little fire to warm up. Yeah, awesome. That nifty little wood hauler, wax canvas, absolutely love it. That was another gift from my partner Nicole. She spoils the heck out of me. It saves a lot of effort and it hardly weighs anything, you know. It's worth bringing along. Well, we still have a bit of setup to do, so I'm going to go grab the last of my gear and get all settled in. It's now about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so we've been here for about 3 hours now. And almost time to just kick back and drink beer and watch the fire. It's going to be a great night, guys. Good morning, folks. It is 5:30 and I am ready to pack up and get out of here. I slept not too bad last night, so I was loading the stove every 2 to 2.5 hours last night, which isn't too bad. Anything longer than that and the coals took a long time for the wood to relight when I would reload, so I think about 2 hours is probably the sweet spot for the stove. And that's dampened down quite a bit, so it wasn't super warm in here, just enough to take the chill of outside off, but not 20 degrees by any means. So if I wanted to keep it that temperature all night, I'd be loading the stove every hour and a half easily. Anyway, really happy with this new stove. Gonna definitely be using it a ton this season, so stay tuned. We're gonna have a lot of hot tent trips this year. Anyway, guys, I am going to pack up and head on home. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Helps the channel out a lot. We'll see you next time.